Okay, today we're going to do a little compound cutting project. If you recall, a few days ago I made this little plaque, Black Horse Tavern plaque, and there's a video available up for this to show how it's made. But now that it's finished, I need some way to hang it on the wall. And of course there's a lot of different ways you could do this. The standard way I usually do it is to go out and buy one of these little saw type hooks, and then you just drill some holes in it and put some screws in, or as I sometimes do it, I just simply glue it to the back of the piece that I want to use it on, and that's fine. You can do that if you want, but I got the idea the other day that maybe I could make one of these sawtooth hangers out of wood. So that's what our project is going to be today. We're going to take this little pattern that I have developed, and we're going to cut it out using a compound cut method on a 1-inch blank. This I cut from a 2x4, and when you're all done, you'll have a sawtooth type hanger you can use on the back of a project that you might have. It turns out, ironically, you get two of them when you cut this up, because one of the pieces drops out as the one that you are planning on, but there's also a bonus piece that you get, and you can use that too. What I'm planning on doing is just putting some glue, CA glue, on the back sides of these hook pieces and gluing it right down. And now I have a nice sawtooth hook I can hang this on a wall with. I'm going to put the pattern down below here, and you can go check it out. Maybe it's something you'd like to make, maybe just for practice doing compound cutting. I got a couple size patterns there for you. You can make them bigger or smaller yourself if you want to complete this project. Okay, so let's get going. We're going to start by working with the blank that we're going to need. What you're going to need for this project is the pattern, and you're going to need a 1-inch blank. I took it from a 2x4, cut it down. This is a fairly common wood. Depending upon what you're going to use the hanger on, you might want to use a sturdier wood than this. This would be good for light pictures, small ones, or light projects that you want to hang on the wall. So what you want to do is you want to cut that to a 1-inch by 1-inch cube. I've got it about 6 or 7 inches long here, just so I have some handles to grasp onto on the sides when I start cutting this thing. And the pattern, of course, is going to be placed on the cube in that fashion and folded over. But before doing that, I like to put down some masking tape or some painter's tape. It helps with the cutting, lubricates the blade. So we'll just put that on there. It also gives us a place to stick the pattern. It doesn't really matter, of course, because we're not going to use the outside except on the bonus piece that we get. I'm going to put some glue on the back of this. Be back in a second. Alright, I got some glue on the back of this. I use a glue stick, and I'm going to mount this on the cube, or the 1-inch cube I should say, in this fashion. Okay, so you get that so that line is right on the back side. I'm going to be folding that over. Smooth this down so it's nice and smooth, and then just fold that down, flip it over here, and then smooth that out. Okay, so we got both parts of the sawtooth that we're going to need. We've got the angled edges, and we've got the saw teeth themselves. All right, we're going to take this over to the drill press and drill 2 entry holes, one on the top of this side and one on the top of this side, so we can put our saw blade through that. This is going to be a fairly easy cut, nothing complicated, and with a soft wood like this it should go along very smoothly. So I'm going to go drill those holes, and I'll meet you back at the scroll saw so we can get this thing cut out. All right, guys and gals, we are ready to go here. I've got a number 5 reverse tooth blade in here, which ought to be adequate for our cutting purposes. I'm going to take this and run it through the entry holes. I want to cut the saw blade part first. Doesn't really make any difference. You could do either one. Tighten this down. Hopefully we won't experience any blade breakage here, but might be a chance for you to see how a blade breaks if you have never seen one before. All right, here we go. I'm going to try to keep my hand out of the way. It's going to be very difficult, but see what we can do. Well, we didn't see a blade break here, but we did see one bend a little bit and come loose. Let's tighten that up a little bit, see if we can salvage the blade. Not sure I can, but try it. Straighten it out a little bit. Remember, you saw it here first. A blade breakage. Must have been misplaced inside the little clamp here. Let's try again. Tighten her down. Get her up as best we can. Okay, let's go. Okay, we made it all the way through. As you can see, you don't want a little thing like a blade coming loose or a blade breaking on you to stop you in your path. Just got to fix it up again and get right to it. Now, I've got a series of little mountains here. There's 6 of them. And the reason I got that, of course, is that we want to have different spots where the nail can be set on the back of the picture. And I like 5 because, or actually 6 mountains, because it leaves 5 openings there. And the center one is the one you're hoping for. But in case there's a little bit of a tilt to the picture or something like that, you can move to the left or to the right. That's the purpose of these Sawtooth hangers. Now, we got to take this over to the bench for a second and do a little fixing up here. All right, we're back at the bench here now. And what we want to do is, before we make the next cut, we want to secure this in place so that it doesn't move around while we're doing our cutting of the other side. So I'm going to take a little bit of cellophane tape, which is fine, packing tape, and put it right over that so it doesn't move at all. Flip it over, and we'll do the same thing to the back side. And we'll hold that in place for us while we do our next cut, which is going to be along the straight edges here in the little angular piece that we're going to need. Okay, so let's get back to the scroll saw. Alright, once again, we'll see if we can do a cut here without breaking a blade or without getting a hole in it or something. We want to find that other hole that we drilled. Now I put the plastic down, of course, plastic tape, sort of covered up the hole. I got to find it here. Let me get my little poker. we'll just see if we can find that hole and poke a hole in there. There you go. Use the little sharp point on this to open that hole up so we can see it. There we go. Now it just flies right through. Alright, we're ready to go again with the number 5 reverse tooth blade. Make sure that this is fastened down nice and snug, and hope for a nice clean cut. Here we go. Okay, got that cut out now, and I cut outside the line a little bit all around, just so I can make it a little bit thicker than the actual pattern. Give it a little bit of body when we take it out of the block here. Now let's go back to the bench and dismantle this thing and see if it looks pretty good. Okay, we're over here at the bench now. Let's take this thing apart. There's the bonus one. Knocked it out just on the end there. Got to take the tape off of this. You won't have to worry about taking tape off the middle one, of course. But we have one here to work very nicely. I call this the bonus one. All right. And then if you continue to knock this down, we should get the legitimate one. There it is. Okay, so we actually get 2 out of this project, not just 1. Now you also get some other oddities here too. If you want to continue to, you got a little thing that you might be able to use for a handle on something. Not exactly sure what you could use it for, but you might want to save it, because you might want to use it for something later on down the road. And also, you can take these other pieces out, take a look at them. Probably not very useful, but you never know. This is the fun thing about doing a compound cut, especially if you're doing it for the first time. You don't really know what you're going to end up with. I got this thing here. Not exactly sure what it's going to be. It's going to be worth anything. It's really stubborn in there. Doesn't want to come out. There we go. Okay. This looks like a, I don't know, looks a little bit like a harmonica. But I don't know if it has any purpose, but you know, you might want to save it. The other piece is probably going to look pretty much the same as that one. But these are the important things. Now what we want to do is take them over to the sander, sand them down a little bit, and you might want to coat them with something, but it's purely a utility that you're going to be using on the back of a particular project that you might have. You want to use some judgment on weight. You'd want to make a bigger one for a heavier picture, smaller ones for very light pictures, and you can resize these, of course, as you need them. Smooth them out. How are you going to fasten them? Well, I got little lips on either side. You could drill a little hole through each one and get some small screws and screw them down that way, or you could do what I've done quite often, and that is use a drop or use a drop of CA glue on the bottoms and attach it to the piece, and yeah, that holds pretty solid once it's dried, but that's up to you. Well, that's pretty much the project for now. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button down below and subscribe to this channel. I'll have more ideas coming along someday, and you might want to be in on them with you. Don't forget to check out the pattern. It's down below. You can get it free of charge. Just download it to your computer, and let's see some of your cuts as well. Thank you for watching.